What's right and what's wrong? From the time we're born, we're taught about right and wrong, aren't we? And our parents, our young ages from 0 to 7, are implementing, instilling us what is right and wrong. What I've come to understand is that right and wrong is a perspective. Perspective, I know, it's quite controversial to say that. But I know that, for example, a lot of people talk about positive thinking. Positive meaning right, negative thinking meaning wrong. And yet, what's positive for one is not positive for another. The way I like to look at it is a bit differently. I like to look at it, is it for a greater expression of life for me? When I'm looking at things, I'm making decisions, I'm discerning which way to go, I ask, is it a greater expression of life? And I can't separate life and love. I think life and love are one and the same. I think there's a part of us that is dead because we're not in love all the time. We're missing out on so much of life because when we're not in love, we're in judgment. When we're in judgment, it's holding us back and we don't realize it. One of the things that's happening in the world today is that we're all being separated into little boxes because of our perceptions of differences. One of the things that happens is we talk about what's going on, let's say, in Palestine with the Israeli people and the Palestinian people. From the Israeli people's perspective, they believe they're right. From the Palestinian people's perspective, they believe they are right. I would like to look at it from the perspective of what is for more life for all. It's not a matter about right or wrong for me. It's about a matter of more life. That's a difficult thing to do. We've not been trained to do that. We've not been conditioned to do that, have we? Not at all. We've been conditioned to judge. And we're in condition that we anchor ourselves. We plant our feet. We anchor our bodies into being right. And right is perspective. It's from the perspective in which you are looking at it. A Christian will look at something different than a Hindu. A Hindu will look at something different than a Buddhist. Why is someone a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Christian? Because of where they're born most of the time. Is it right? Is that religion right because you were born into it? It's an interesting question. I like to question everything. I like to realize that whatever I believe is right is just a perception for me. Then I always ask the question, how can I experience a greater and greater love, a greater and greater life? And that's where I drive my thoughts. That's where I drive my feelings, my actions toward that. Because when I have a greater expression of life, I feel fulfilled. So I believe the purpose of life is not to be happy. I believe the purpose of life is to create, live, and experience a fulfilling life. Did you hear that? Create, live, and experience a fulfilling life. Think about that. If your life was fulfilling, would it be different? Would it be like anybody else's life? Or would it be like yours? I truly understand this when I review and look at my own marriage. What fulfills me is different than what fulfills my wife. The beauty of our marriage, as I've been talking about, is that I want for my wife, Jean, what she wants for her. And she wants for me what I want for me. We're not trying to throw each other's views on top of the other person, but rather give the other person the freedom and support to rise to the greatest expression and experience of love that they can imagine. I believe if we did that as a race, we would change the entire experience of everyone on the planet. Think about that. If we supported each other to create what we want, how different would life be? Life would be fun. It wouldn't be a conflict. But then you'll say, well, there's not enough for everybody. There's enough. We've just been domesticated into believing there's not enough. Something to think about today. Are you invested in being right? Are you putting yourself down because you think you're wrong? Stop. Ask the question, how can I be a greater experience of love today? And how can I live a more expansive life? Make it a great day. Make it a fulfilling day. And remember, only you can. Much love and aloha.